It is Friday Eve. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Coast Life. We're your hosts. I'm Paige Marley.
I'm Leah Rizzo, and it might be hard to tell us apart right now.
Oh my gosh, we did not plan.
Once again, are accidentally twinning.
Yep.
But we're both big fashion lovers.
Yes.
And if you are a fashion lover too, and you like giving back to the community, don't forget tonight at Shellville, there's a big fundraiser for the Harry K Foundation. It's going to be a night full of fashion, fun. I'm going to be in it.
Yes.
Britt and Mallory are going to be in it.
With Coast TV News.
With Coast TV News. Katie Zerilli from our sister show, Delmarva Life, is going to be there. So it's going to be tons of fun. I'm walking for the Jenny Lee Boutique.
Yeah. Ooh, you are.
Yeah.
Okay, Jenny Lee. Can't wait to see it. And not everyone there will be in the same colors, the same everything, like Leah and I are most days. So.
Right. Yes. There's going to be a lot. It's going to be a fun night.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see pictures.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be a good time. So
Well,
if you're looking for something to do and again, give back to the community while you do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great way to do it because the Harry K Foundation, if you don't know, helps out kids in Delaware. It helps provide meals for kids throughout the state.
Yeah, they're fantastic. So that's going to be a fun event for a good cause. Nice.
A really good cause.
Can't wait to see all about it.
But we always like diving into the show with a little bit of fun conversation before we get to the show. And we were talking about this sort of off the air. It was funny because I was like finding topics and you were like, I did this.
I was like embarrassed. I said it and then I'm like, oh, that's kind of embarrassing.
It's not that embarrassing because a lot of people are doing it. Preppers. Do you remember the show Doomsday Preppers back in the day? Gosh, I used to love that show.
I never watched it, but I think now in my life I would appreciate it.
It was fun. So basically, like in that show, they would find people that like they thought 100% some sort of apocalypse was going to happen. And it could vary what that type of apocalypse was. And so these guys were doomsday preppers. So they would get rated on like how well they had prepped based off of like their food, their survival skills, like all of these things would factor into a rating. And then, I don't know, just some arbitrary number would come up at the end. But it was very fun. My brother and I used to watch it all the time together. But it seems like Gen Z these days is now getting into doomsday prepping. They've bought a lot more of these like survival kits that are full of like the dried food, toilet paper, water, like all the things that you would need in the event of some sort of collapse.
Yeah, so I think I am this much prepper, but I'm terrible because I did start looking into it and getting freeze-dried food. Or not freeze-dried, dehydrated, whichever one it is. See, that's how terrible of a prepper I am, but I have started because I was telling Leah, I'm like, oh, I bought some food, but okay, I'm not going to go hungry, but I didn't buy anything else.
Yeah, well, that's a good first step. You need food, you need water.
Yeah, I don't even have water.
Those are the first two steps to survival.
Yeah, so I need to buy water after work today.
But both of us really tend to like the sort of post-apocalyptic fiction.
Yes.
So I think I feel more prepared than obviously I actually am because I haven't bought any food or water to prepare in the event of an apocalypse. But I'm so familiar with works of fiction that I'm like, well, I see how it's all going to play out.
Oh yeah, we come up with these ideas and we're like, this is where we're going to be in X many years, and hopefully it's not, obviously, but and don't think we're experts. We are like, well, in Hunger Games this happened, and in Divergent this happened. So I do agree with you though. Sometimes I'm like, I'd be so good if, I don't know, the zombies came for us finally.
And maybe this is considered a sign of the end of times. Beauty products, man. If these aren't torture devices, I don't know what are.
Some of them feel that way.
This one sure does. Maybe if you've been scrolling through TikTok, you've seen the dimple maker.
This one gets me.
It's like a cherry-shaped clamp that they were talking about that like you hold down on your cheek.
Yeah, it like clips out. I've seen it on TikTok. It's almost like imagine a bobby pin, right? And it like that, and it clips on just like that. And so then you wear both of them, and it's supposed to just like indent your cheeks.
Like I feel like that's
terrible for you.
Literally something they would put on your face to like torment you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For information.
Yeah, and you can't like talk, or I guess you can try, but you can't really talk. So people are just working at home with these things. But I feel like, I mean, we're not doctors, but wouldn't that like tear up or something your cheek? I don't know.
It can be bad for you, yeah. So they say that it can actually like kill the tissue there, so it could probably make like numb spots on your face, or I mean, it also probably just doesn't work.
No, I don't think so. If you hold something in long enough, anywhere, you're gonna make a little indent temporarily.
Yeah, but I don't. The things we do for beauty, man.
Yeah, you're beautiful the way you are. Stop. You don't need dimples. It's fine. And if you have dimples, I bet they're so cute. And I might be a little jealous,
right?
But not that jealous.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's a crazy extreme. But hey, if you've tried it, let us know. Does it work?
Yeah. Maybe if it's super healthy, I'll give it a go.
Maybe we'll try it.
But right now, I don't know.
And maybe this is a story too that you've come across or are familiar with. I know it's one of our favorites to share, and it's nice to know that they're still going strong. Do you remember it was back in like 2016 that it was a teenager and he received a text from someone's grandma, but it wasn't his. And she was like, "Are you coming to Thanksgiving this year?" And he was like, I think you have the wrong number. But then he was like, "Could I still have a plate?"
Yeah.
And she said, "Of course. Grandmas take care of everybody." And so he showed up to the family's Thanksgiving dinner, and she gave him a big hug. And they've been doing this for 8 years. This is the 8th year they're going to be gathering.
I love it. It started as this funny thing on Twitter that just kind of started trending, and people were like, he's not really going to go see her on Thanksgiving. And they've been through a lot together. I mean, the young man who texted her, he has since gotten married. How about that? Or engaged, one of those. And he brings her now to these dinners. The grandma, unfortunately, her husband passed away, but he really had this grandpa relationship with them. It's really sweet, and he's going to go again. So this is one of those things that I think a lot of us, especially on social media, we look forward to every year.
Yeah,
it's just that wholesome that makes you feel good.
He also said that this year there's a big surprise, so I wonder.
Can I guess?
You can guess.
I bet he's announcing that they're having a baby.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too, but I guess we'll find out this year.
So excited.
We're also excited for the show we have planned for you today. Coast Life's Maya Henry is going to tell you more about what's coming up.
Coming up next on Coast Life, honor heroes through the Flags for Heroes initiative. Explore a captivating log cabin oasis in our happy place of the week. Join us as we spill the latest tea. All that and more when Coast Life gets back.
Coast Life is brought to you by BB Healthcare, Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, Preston Automotive Group, Shell Brothers, and the Parker Group.
You're watching Coast Life, and you are probably seeing a lot of pink all around Delmarva. That's because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a disease that affects many people here on coastal Delmarva. That is why we are at BB's Center for Breast Health in Rehoboth Beach, so that should you receive a diagnosis, you're getting quality care. We know that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's pretty prevalent in our area, but also in the country. And here to tell us a little bit more about sort of the importance of getting yourself taken care of, getting yourself checked out, and what you can do if you receive a breast cancer diagnosis is Dr. Diana Dixon Whitmer. And not only are you a breast surgeon, but you're also the director of the Center for Breast Health here with BB.
And I am so happy that you are here in BB's Center for Breast Health. This facility, which opened just a little over a week ago, is much needed in Sussex County. Sussex County in 2020 and 2021 was the fastest growing county in the country, not the state, not the mid-Atlantic, but in the United States. This is a center where not only are there breast surgical oncologists like myself, Dr. Matthew Richards. We have just had join us a third breast surgical oncologist, Dr. Karen Barbosa. We have a nurse practitioner, Amanda Byro. But this is a facility where we actually can do biopsies too. So we know that this is going to reduce that anxiety-producing waiting time between when somebody learns that she has an abnormality on her mammogram or ultrasound and when she can see the surgeon, have the biopsy done, go over the results. We think we can compress that time to less than 10 days or less than a week.
That's awesome. And I think sort of speaking to that timeline, I mean, the fact that you've got so much in-house here speaks not only to the care that patients who receive a cancer diagnosis are going to receive, but like you said, the speed at which they're going to receive it. So maybe let's dive into some of the statistics, because chances are you know somebody who's been affected by breast cancer.
Breast cancer is now the third most common cancer cause of death among women globally. And unfortunately, the incidence of breast cancer has been increasing among women under 50.
Wow.
So there's multifactorial why this is happening. A lot of it is obesity, which is an epidemic in countries as they increase their wealth. Their population increases their girth. And that increases not only the risk of heart disease, but very significantly increases the risk of breast cancer. So right here in the Center for Breast Health, we talked about having radiology immediately available, breast surgeons, the nurse practitioners, nurse navigators, a very important element of the team. Nurse navigators help coordinate everything that happens for the woman from the time she's found to have an abnormal mammogram to the time she's finished with treatment for her breast cancer. And right across a small little road is Tunnel Cancer Center with radiation oncology and medical oncology, social services, all of that coordinated in one breast program of which we are extremely proud. And I have to brag just a little bit about this breast program. BB has been accredited since 2013 by a national quality organization called the National Accreditation Program for Breast Centers. But last January, we were honored by being selected as one of 6 out of the over 600 accredited programs to pilot their new standards that will go into effect January of 2024, went into effect at BB January of 2023.
Wow.
And we've been able to provide feedback to the program to help them adjust slightly the standards to make them work better for patients and for the programs. So we are very happy that the emphasis on quality and the emphasis on patient-centered care at BB has been recognized nationally by allowing us to pilot these standards.
Let's talk about mammograms a little bit, because that's a very important part of the standard screening process, whether it's assessing your risk as well. There's a lot that you guys take care of to put women at ease and women who are at risk.
Mammography is important. Since mammograms in the United States became broadly utilized in the mid-90s, the mortality rate for breast cancer in the United States has plummeted by 30%.
Wow.
So mammography does save lives. It doesn't see every breast cancer. The general population, everyone should start at age 40. And they should have a mammogram every year until they have not 10 years of reasonable life expectancy. There are some new things coming along the pike that I think BB is going to be an early adopter of, and one of those is called contrast-enhanced mammography, which is something that is as sensitive as MRI, much less expensive, and doesn't cause a problem for people who are claustrophobic.
You talked a little bit sort of at the beginning here about risk assessments that you guys do as well. So if there is somebody who maybe has a history, you guys can sort of do those risk assessments. What does that do for a patient?
The national guidelines now, both the American College of Radiology and the National Comprehensive Cancer Network, NCCN, strongly recommend that every woman aged 25 should have an assessment of her lifetime risk of developing breast cancer.
It's such a scary journey, cancer of any kind, but breast cancer being as prevalent as it is. But the team here at BB is so special and so, incredible and talented and perfect at what they do. Talk to that a little bit.
BB is truly Sussex County. And working with people at BB, especially working at my team here with the Center for Breast Health, is just a pleasure. We get notes from the patients all the time telling us about that too. And that makes a big difference, because especially when people are going through the anxiety of finding out, even if they find out they don't have a cancer after the biopsy, it was stressful until they heard that answer. So having staff that are genuinely concerned about not just high quality care, but care that's delivered in a way that makes the patient comfortable.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Quality and very personalized care, which is fantastic. Well, Dr. Diana Dixon Whitmer, breast surgeon and director of the Center for Breast Health here with BB in Rehoboth. Thank you so much. This is such a pleasure talking to you. And I know that this information is a lot, but it's going to be super helpful for a lot of members of our community right here all along coastal Delmarva. Don't go anywhere, because we do have more Coast Life coming your way. You're not going to want to miss it.
This segment of Coast Life was brought to you by BB Healthcare.
Here on Coast Life, we like to keep all of our community members safe and informed. And today we're going to be talking about COPD. And honestly, Paige and I, we really don't know that much about it. So maybe you're in a similar boat to us.
Yeah.
And so here to tell us a little bit more about COPD, are Bev and Sarah here with Peninsula Home Care. Welcome.
Thank you.
thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, you're here telling us about COPD and just some general information, I guess. What are some things that people should know, look out for, things like that?
Sure. So I'm actually going to let Sarah share with you. So Sarah and I recently partnered up together, and Sarah is with the Southern Delaware COPD Coalition. She's a respiratory therapist, and so she has really making it her life's mission to take care of COPD patients on a very large scale. Wow. So I'm going to let her share some of that with you.
Yeah,
please.
Okay, yeah. So I started the Southern Delaware COPD Coalition a year ago. I saw my first patient last September.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a very exciting year. The good news is that we've made a lot of connections within the community, and that is benefiting our patients, and that is truly our goal. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. So essentially, the coalition, we bridge gaps in care, and we try to reduce any barriers to care for people with chronic lung disease in the communities.
Okay,
and that's used. This time of year is really important. Flu season is here upon us, with COVID still lingering and RSV here as well, or on the way. It's really important that people with chronic lung disease take very proactive measures to keep themselves healthy.
Absolutely.
And that includes things like vaccinations, following up with their providers, and just making sure that they're aware of their signs and symptoms, so that if they do start to develop a respiratory infection, that they're aware of it and they proactively address that.
So I guess maybe let's talk about some of those signs, symptoms, maybe either somebody who has a diagnosis of chronic lung disease or maybe doesn't have that diagnosis and they're not sure. What are some of those signs?
So if they have signs and symptoms would be cough, shortness of breath, that gets worse with activity most likely, but anything if they've had an extensive smoking history or if they've been exposed to particulate matter or chemicals in the work industry, it's really important that they talk to their doctor about any symptoms that they have so they can get the proper diagnosis. And once they do that, this time of year especially, it's really important to be mindful of their symptoms. So if their symptoms get worse, if they have a cough that's lingering and it gets worse, or if they have mucus production, increasing shortness of breath, these are things that they really want to be aware of so they can communicate that to their provider and they can get in and get an appropriate diagnosis.
Okay, perfect. And what does your job look like? How do you help someone once they have COPD?
So my job, I worked in the hospital for 20 years, and I left that hospital setting to help people because I kept hearing, and anyone in healthcare has probably heard it, outside of the hospital there really isn't that substantial resource for people with chronic lung disease. So we're working with Peninsula Home Care to be in the home care setting so we can really meet these people where they're at. A lot of times we see things and we hear things, but until you're actually in the home environment and can see what the patients are dealing with, it brings a different perspective. And so that's been really exciting over the last year.
It's been really helpful to partner with Sarah because she has a specialty that so many of our patients, we have found that as they're leaving the hospital and they come to us for home care, and like Sarah said, it's RSV season, which is a respiratory virus. If you have COPD, you're already lung compromised, and many of our patients just don't know. They get so much information in the hospital, they come home, and it's really hard to remember everything they were told. To partner with somebody like Sarah for us is so crucial to all of our nurses. Our nurses have other specialties, but to add respiratory therapy to that mix just allows us to better educate our patients and hopefully help them stay well as they're moving forward with because it is a long-term disease, it is a long-term illness, and they should be educated and know what they need to do to take care of it.
I think having that education with your patients is huge. And I mean, I know when you do, anytime you go home from the hospital and they hand you a stack of paperwork and you're like, I don't know what any of this means.
And then when you can't breathe on top of it, that adds a whole nother layer. So we really want to help bridge those gaps. We work collaboratively and holistically. It can't just be respiratory therapy or nursing or PT and OT. It has to be a collective effort here, and that's what we're doing with this partnership. So it's been amazing.
Awesome. So maybe for people who are struggling with COPD and they're looking to look for somebody who is bridging those gaps, how can they get in touch? How can they be involved?
Yeah, sure. They should call either one of us. So they can look for Sarah at the Southern Delaware COPD Coalition here in Delaware. Look her up, call her, because she can give you a lot of direction, whether it's just with her, with a physician, or with home care, or you can even call us, because we would give you that same information and direction to refer you either to a pulmonologist or connect you with Sarah for more education, or certainly call your physician to engage you in home care. So if you call either Peninsula Home Care in Seaford, Delaware, or the Southern Delaware COPD Coalition here in Millsboro, you can get a wealth of information, and we're happy to help.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, thanks
Yeah.
for being so accessible and for really taking the lead on this, because I think everyone can agree that you heal a little different at home than the hospital, and that healing should be better and more long term.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you both so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much. Thanks for coming in.
course, of
Anytime.
course.
We love learning.
Yes. Yes.
Thanks for having us.
We do.
Get your flu vaccine if you haven't gotten it yet.
Yes.
There you
And
go.
if you're compromised, RSV and COVID, talk to your provider if you're not sure. It's really important. This is a very critical time of year. We want to keep people healthy, out of the hospital, improve their quality of life, and there's a way to do that.
Yes. A great reminder for everybody.
Yes, it is.
Well, thanks again for coming in. We appreciate having you guys. But don't go anywhere, because we do have some more Coast Life coming your way.
Perfect. Thank you.
This segment of Coast Life was brought to you by Peninsula Home Care.
Well, you have definitely seen this beautiful site before. All of these flags by Cape Henlopen High School. And of course, it doesn't take just one person to put all the flags up. They don't just mysteriously pop up. So today we have Chuck Ward with us. Chuck, you are with the Lewis Rehoboth Rotary, but you
Yes.
really run Flags for Heroes.
I am in charge of the ceremony,
Yes.
which will happen on Veterans Day, which is Saturday, November 11th. And that's when we'll have a bunch of community leaders. We've been doing this, we've been a club since 1929, I guess it is, and 94 years of raising money, and we are basically a service organization, service above self. That is one of the credos with Rotary. We have given out almost $90,000 this past year. That's a lot for the Lewis community.
So take us through really quick, if people haven't heard of Flags for Heroes, if you don't mind, I'm going to hold this up.
Yeah.
So this is a medallion. So this, as much as I understand, goes on the flags when you put them up.
Yes.
Okay. So tell us about that.
We will set the flags out on Saturday, November 4th.
Okay.
And they will be up for 2 weeks. There'll be over 500 different flags. Wow. And it's an impressive sight.
Yes.
It truly is. And each medallion will hang on, and you get to keep it. And it's sent back to you after the 2 weeks and to your hero. It could be not just only a veteran, as we know them, but it could be a teacher. It could be someone who is a hero in your life. So that's, and then we rely on corporate sponsors as well, because they make up a big bulk of this, and with each corporate sponsorship, it plateaus all the way up, but you get various medallions, so maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, something like that, according to their giving.
That's great. So if someone has a hero in mind, they want to nominate someone, have a medallion, how can they do that?
They can get on to our website at flagsforheroes-LRRC, and there's also a QR code. The flags will come down the following Saturday, which is the 18th, I think.
Okay,
And,
we'll take a look then.
yeah.
So people should mark their calendars, but to make it easier, let's put that QR code up one more time. And so November 4th, flags will be out. November 11th is your fantastic event, and
Yes.
we're looking forward to it. Thanks for all you do to support these local heroes.
Well, thank you for having me and getting the word out.
Of course.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
All right, who would you nominate?
Ooh, that's a good question. There probably are some teachers in my life that
Okay.
deserve a nomination.
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm thinking teachers and some doctors. I love
Yes,
it.
yes.
Well, we'll think on this then. That sounds great. While you think about it, maybe you can scan that QR code. We'll put it up right here. You can learn more about it, or you can do that during a commercial break, because we're going to get that now, and then we'll get back on the couch in just a moment.
You're watching Coast Life, and if you are a country music fan, or maybe you're a big fan of little quiet getaways. Either way, we've got the mayor of Ticket Town joining us on the Coast Life couch once again to tell us how maybe you could go to one of the biggest nights in country music, or maybe steal away to the Poconos for free. Gary John from Coast Country is here. You got some pretty big giveaways going on.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and thank you again for having me. I
always
appreciate it. And yeah, this all sort of came together real quick, so we're excited to make this big announcement today that next week, if you listen to Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3, you're going to have an opportunity to win a one-of-a-kind experience. You've probably watched the CMA Awards over the years and always thought to yourself, man, I would love to be in that room.
Every time.
Yes.
Well, now you can, because all next week we're going to be giving you a chance to qualify to win a flyaway VIP style to the CMAs in Nashville, which are happening on November 8th. This is pretty amazing. So how it's going to work is all next week we've created this queue to call, and you'll know that it's your time to call to qualify, because the words will actually say, call now to qualify at 443-971-1063. So when you hear that, starting on Monday, you be caller number 10. Mm-hmm. If you're caller 10, you're going to win $20 worth of scratch-off tickets from the Maryland Lottery, their new Ravens 5X game, which actually has a top prize of $50,000, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be in a drawing where one lucky Coast Country listener is going to win round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and VIP access to the CMAs on November 8th. You will also get to meet
No way.
What?
greet
Oh my God.
Lady A.
What?
Which is pretty awesome. They've got a brand new song out called Love You Back that we're playing on Coast Country. So that part of it is really awesome. But then this is the even better part.
There's more?
There is more.
What? No.
Because after these big award shows, what do you always see? You see social media posts and pictures of the stars mingling together at these VIP after parties.
Oh my gosh.
And you're going to get to go to one. VIP access to a CMA after party where you're going to see stars, meet stars. You might even meet Big D and Bubba, who are up for a CMA award this year as well. So we are super stoked to be able to give you this opportunity, and it all starts Monday.
I mean, like, I think we just need a minute to process all of that, because that is a huge giveaway. I mean, especially for our area. I mean, this sounds like it's a big, huge national contest.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's not.
No,
because that's the strength of local of local radio.
Absolutely, and that's basically, you know, that's in our rules. It's local winners only. You have to be a Delmarva resident to be able to win. You can find all the details. They'll be up on coastcountry.com. If you're not following us on social media, you certainly should do that, because we'll be posting links and that sort of thing as well. So, Leah, in your experience with radio, you know how much we like to play games.
Oh, we
right?
love games.
Yes. So we have teamed up on Big 107.7 Delmarva's Classic Rock, also 93.5 The Beach, 102.5 WBOC, and 107.1 The Duck, Delmarva's Classic Hits. They're going to be playing a game starting on Monday that's called Password to the Poconos.
Hey.
Now, all the stations are going to be playing this game, but they're all going to be playing it separately.
Okay.
So there'll be winners on each station. And we've teamed up with the Cove Pocono Resorts, which is actually 3 different resorts in the Poconos that all have sort of different themes and settings. But what it is you could win a 3-day, 2-night stay at one of those resorts of your choice. They include lunch and dinner every day. There's entertainment nightly, all sorts of activities. So the way that it's going to work is every week there's going to be a different password. Okay, it's going to be a 5-letter word. So each day of the week, we're going to give you one of the letters in the password.
Oh, fun.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, let's say the password was storm.
Okay.
So on Monday morning, or Monday, several times a day, you'll hear on the radio, hey, it's time for Password to the Poconos. Your letter for the password today is S. So then you would jot that down. Tuesday, you'll get the T. Wednesday, you'll get the O, and so on. And then when you think you know the password, then you go to our station website, click on Ticket Town, and you'll see where to enter. You put the password in, and now you're in the drawing.
Nice.
Okay.
So each week you'll have until 8 p.m. on Sunday night to get the password entered. And then on Monday morning, we'll announce that week's winner, and we're going to play this game right up through November 17th.
Perfect.
Nice. Do you only get to guess once?
Well, that's the beauty of it, is if you're wrong, it'll tell you that you're wrong.
Oh,
and then
okay.
you can keep trying until you get
Perfect.
the password right. And as long as you've got it right before 8 p.m. on Sunday night, then you'll be in the draw, and we'll pick one winner.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Gary John, Mr. Mayor of Tickettown.
That's right.
We love having you on the Coast Life Couch because you tell us about all these crazy cool events.
Well, it is my pleasure, and I will tell you, I mean, we're always doing giveaways, whether it's to local festivals or local music shows or even bigger music shows.
Well, Gary, thanks for coming in again. And don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. But first, Maya Henry is going to tell us about this week's Happy Place of the Week with Parker Group.
Welcome to this log cabin oasis. This property is a haven for nature enthusiasts. With an open concept living area showcasing wooden beams and rich hardwood floors, with 2 tastefully designed bathrooms and 3 cozy bedrooms, you'll feel like you're on vacay every day. This week's Happy Place is sponsored by the Parker Group.
It's Thursday, so I hope you have your mugs ready. Your tea, the water is steeping. I don't understand.
It's really hot right now. We just steeped this tea.
Yeah. So we're gonna pour it take a little tiny sips, but I'm so excited, Leah, for this tea because it smells so good.
Yes.
What is it?
So this is the Sinfully Cherry Green Tea. Like a stroll through cherry orchards, this tea is brimming with blissful cherry aromas and ripe fruity flavor. With a brisk and refreshing finish, the cherry essence of this tea are sinfully delicious.
Okay, came with a little poem there.
Right? Yeah.
We like it. All right, perfect. Well, let's get spilling that tea. And we have some good tea for you today. Now, I want to start off with have you guys hear about the tea the same way we heard about it? So, the subject line to this tea was, am I in the wrong for making my girlfriend clean the whole house? I know what you're thinking. Yeah, probably. You probably are wrong. But hear him out, because I think your opinion might change. So this man says his girlfriend and him, they live together in a major city. So things get expensive, right?
Yes.
And then we get that. So they split things like rent and utilities 60-40.
Okay.
He pays more because he makes a little more, and
sense.
she pays a little bit less. When they go on dates, things like that, he pays for them again because he makes a little more money. His girlfriend, however, she's gotten really sad in her career. She doesn't like it. So he, trying to be a supportive boyfriend, told her, it's okay, you can quit your job. Okay? Very nice.
Yeah.
With the expectation, she's going to find a new one.
Right.
So they're still splitting things 60-40, but he's noticed when he comes home, it's an awkward conversation to have, but the house is kind of messy. She hasn't done anything all day. And she says she's waiting for him because the chores should be split 50-50. He's saying because now that she's not working, and he gives her money every month, like almost like an allowance,
right?
For her spending money and things. He's like, I think since I'm doing this for you, what's only fair is you take care of the house now because you're at home all day. She doesn't agree. She thinks we should still split the chores, the household work 50-50. What do you think?
Yeah, I want to say that's hard, but I actually don't think it is that difficult because I think, it's one thing when you lose your job, you can be in a rough place emotionally, it can be devastating, and you don't have the energy to do anything.
Yeah.
But if you quit your job and if the expectation was for her to go back to work and she hasn't done that yet, then the logical role is to kind of take on that of the keeper of the house, the person who runs the house affairs, whether that's cooking, that's cleaning. It's all the things that you have time for in your day that you don't have time to do when you work a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I think, I grew up in a house where both my parents worked 9 to 5s. We were always busy. And sometimes who cooked dinner was always a little I don't want to do it because everybody was tired.
It makes sense. Yeah, my dad worked, my mom stayed at home, but any stay-at-home mom will tell you that's a full-time job.
Absolutely. And if you are a mom on top of it, you're with the kids 24/7. You're in charge of the social activities for the family.
Yeah.
You're in charge, stay-at-home mom comes with many, many titles that you would traditionally pay somebody to do.
Exactly.
So,
and I don't think they have kids. That's not what they said in here. But still, it's like, listen, girl, everyone wants to stay at home and do nothing all day and have their boyfriend send them money.
Right.
I support you in your dream. It's just, I'm going to side with the boyfriend on this. Get to work. Get her to get to work, whether it's in an office or whether it's at the house.
Yes.
Because if you are financially supporting her 100%, the least you can do is make sure you have a clean house when you get home.
Yeah, that's just when you're in a relationship, it's a partnership.
Exactly.
And so, whatever you decide that split of be it the chores, the money, however you're dividing anything. And that's where sometimes when there is only one person making money, it can be a little bit dicey because it'd be one thing if you are calling the shots and saying because I make the money, I decide X, Y, Z, and that doesn't feel good to be told either.
No.
So if that's the case, that's also okay, maybe both of you need to reassess the situation.
Yeah.
But I think, relationships are partnerships, and so you have to agree on how you're splitting up that, be it the work, the chores, whatever. And I think, you don't have to clean the house every day.
No, you don't. But the man just wants a tidy house and a home cooked meal.
Yeah, right. You need to bring what you can into the relationship, and if that is, keeping the house clean, that's your end of the bargain in this.
If you don't like it, sorry. Yeah, that's some tough love from your girlies at COASTLIFE.
Yes. So I think we're gonna try this. It's still pretty hot, but we're still gonna give it a try.
Ooh.
It smells amazing.
Ooh. The after. Ooh.
I do like that. So I'm not usually a green tea drinker, but I love like a fruity green tea or like a citrus green tea, and you taste that cherry.
It's hit me at the end, and I love it. It's green tea, and then you swallow, and you're like, cherry.
And I think we forgot to mention, this is all, of course, from our friends at the Spice and Tea Exchange.
Of course.
On Rehoboth Avenue in Rehoboth Beach. And as we know, holiday season is coming up, so if you got a tea drinker at home, they got all kinds of accessories, delicious teas, spices for the cook in your life. So definitely a one-stop shop for your spice and tea fans in Rehoboth Beach. So make sure you check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, if you have some drama or you want our advice on something, our advice that we're not experts in anything, don't forget, but you want to hear from us, just email us, team@coastlife.com, and we'll spill your tea anonymously here on Thursdays.
But we are going to take a quick break, but we'll be back because there's more COASTLIFE coming up.
Spill the Tea was brought to you by the Spice and Tea Exchange of Rehoboth.
A beloved tradition in Ocean City is back for its 48th year. We are, of course, talking about Sunfest that kicked off this morning, and it's already been great. I'm hanging out with Mayor Rick Meehan on the stage here at Sunfest.
Oh, big stage.
We're pretty cool. I mean,
it's nice.
I love it. So Sunfest is back. Kind of tell me again. First, tell me, how this morning went and everything.
It went great. It's a nice morning and everything. There's usually a large crowd as we're getting ready to open. Cut the ribbon at the arches and everything. Everybody flows in, runs to the seats. The music, the entertainment starts right after that, right around 10 a.m. And that music continues all weekend from 10 a.m. Thursday morning all the way till 6 p.m. Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely. So what can folks expect this year?
Well, it's exciting because all the entertainment is outside, all the entertainment is free, so you can see bands all day long throughout the whole weekend. Of course, all the great food's back. Everybody waits for Sunfest to eat all that stuff. They don't want to eat the rest of the year, but they can't wait to get to Sunfest to eat.
Get it all in.
All the arts and crafts, probably it's rated one of the best shows of its kind in the entire country for arts and crafts. Lots of things for the kids to do. We've incorporated the Halloween activities for this weekend. So there'll be a maze on the beach. There'll be a trick or treat. There'll be a trunk or treat for candy. It's going to be a busy weekend, and it's all about Sunfest.
And you've got the animals covered.
We got the animal covered, very pet friendly. The dock dogs will be out on the beach. There's a bicycle event that's going to be taking place. So we've really packed a lot of things into the next 4 days.
Now, do you typically have mostly people from the area come, or do people from all over come?
Yeah, that's a good question. And, it's a large local event, particularly this first day on Thursdays. You'll see a lot of locals, but then it's people from all over the Mid-Atlantic area. It's a tradition. You'll see people that have been coming here for year after year, and then a lot of new people every year. So it's just a great time. People just like being outside, being in this venue here in Ocean City.
And nothing like running into somebody you haven't seen in a while.
Exactly.
Maybe you saw them last Sunfest.
It's true. And they love the free entertainment. They love the fact, the hours have moved back a little bit, so it's over at 8 instead of 10. That way everybody can, go out and do other things throughout town the rest of the evening. So it's a beautiful weekend in Ocean City.
Tell me, Mayor, what is your favorite part of Sunfest?
I just like coming and sitting outside. Actually, I'll be working the beer booth.
Are you really?
Absolutely. The Delmarva Irish America Club, our club, has one of the beer booths, so we'll be working that. And that's a fun thing to do all weekend because you get to see all the people, you get to see your friends, and you get to meet people, and it's a people experience here, and that's what it's all about.
So you're going to be pouring beer?
I'll be pouring beer.
How many glasses of beer do you think you're going to pour?
Thousands. It's a busy weekend.
That's going to be awesome. And of course, so it continues through Sunday.
Yep, continues. It's 10 to 8 tonight, Friday night, and Saturday, and then 10 to 6 on Sunday.
And really, when this city has events, they're just special. You just have this warm feeling inside. It's fun. It's family friendly.
It is, and people like traditions, and this is a tradition. To come Sunfest kind of marks the end. Although, look, we were just talking right after Sunfest. We moved right into the Winterfest of Lights, so we just keep right on going. But for this weekend, it's all about Sunfest, all about the good times here at the festival grounds down at the Inlet.
Absolutely, so you cannot miss it. You've got opportunities to come all the way through Sunday, so make it happen and come see the mayor and maybe he'll pour you a beer.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right, I'm sure at least one of these toys looks familiar to you. All of these are getting considered to be in the Toy Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Exciting. So this year for the 2023 Toy Hall of Fame, I don't know what you call them, the judge, the group in charge, they're going to pick 3. You're in charge of picking the 4th. So this year, some of the ones getting put in or nominated, we have Transformers.
Ooh.
Good, love. Pogo sticks.
Fun.
Which I haven't even thought of a pogo stick in years, and as soon as I heard it, I'm like, yes, pogo stick. Pez.
Oh, cute.
Which I didn't know was considered a toy.
I guess I didn't really know it was considered a toy either, but that was funny because like my dad loved the Pez like containers. He likes to collect them. Like so when we were little, like Halloween was always like, oh, what'd you get?
That's good. That's smart. Okay.
And he liked to have. I think he still has them. I don't know if he still does or not, but he had like he loved the classic monsters. So he loves like werewolf, Frankenstein. I think it was Wolfman, Frankenstein, and like the Bride of Frankenstein that he had at some point. I don't know if he still has them. Dad, you still have those?